What's up, everybody? Danny Koker here, aka The Count. Thank you for tuning in to the Count's Kustoms YouTube channel for another episode of Counts on Cars. Man, I want to talk to you about the episode that you may have just watched on history. If you did not, look it up. It's the one with the VW bus. I think the first thing I want to talk about is that insane paint job that Ryan did on that motorcycle tin. We did not build the motorcycle. It was a gentleman that had an existing motorcycle, and he took it apart himself, so the bike never came here, but he sent us the tin, which means, of course, he sent us, the gas tank and the fenders and oil bag and things like that. And the guy really wanted something different, something special, something that was, you don't see every day, something that encompassed the 70s on a chopper like that. So I gotta just give huge props to Ryan. The artwork on that tin for that motorcycle was insane. He blended so many different colors, so many different styles, because the client was like, go crazy, I want to go crazy. So he did, man. He used almost every color in the palette and all these different styles to combine a vibe of 70s with a little bit of a modern touch to it, a little bit updated. And I personally thought it came out phenomenal. I'm now hoping to find out here in the future that the gentleman that had his motorcycle, I hope that once he gets it all put back together, that he'll send us some photos or some video or something of it so that we can see it. I'd like to share that with you in the future if we get fortunate enough to get that. But major props to Ryan, phenomenal. Another really cool portion of this episode was a car that's a favorite of mine. Love Corvettes. Just about every year, just about every era, I can find something to appreciate. This particular Corvette that was in this episode was a 1963. First year of the C2. The body style changed so drastically from the C1s. The other thing about the 63, it's the only year to have the split window. So everybody refers to it as, 63 split window Corvette. So we were fortunate to have a client that wanted us to do his 63 split window. He's owned this car for quite some time. Car was in really wonderful condition when it was sent to us here, but what was really neat about it is he didn't want to really customize the car and cut it up. And I feel good about that. I've said this several times that in my opinion, there are certain cars that should be restored and certain cars that there should be no rules on whatsoever. You can do whatever you want. And I've often used the 63 split window Corvette as an example of a car that should be restored and or kept as close to stock as humanly possible because of the significance of the car that I was just talking about. So when this gentleman sent us this 63, it was really very much a factory stock car. I mean, it's got the stock, bone stock 327, it's got the stock 4-speed, stock suspension, stock brakes. It's all stock. And he wanted to keep it that way. The things he wanted to change was he wanted to change the color of the interior and to do the high-end optioned deluxe interior, which meant all leather. And he wanted a custom color, a custom paint on the car. To me, that's not breaking any rules, because if down the road somebody decides, I want to take this 63 split window Corvette and go look at the VIN number and see what color it was, you can do all that to this car. So there's no harm, no foul on this car. It's still a stock 63 split window Corvette, but the gentleman wanted it to just look as cool as could be and wants to have fun with it. We did do a bunch of other things like re-chrome everything, all the bumpers, all of the light bezels, things like that. All the trim around the windows got polished, everything, all the bright work on the car, so to speak. The challenge is on a car like this is to get the body correct. Corvettes, being fiberglass, they inherently have stress crack issues. They're never straight. Gaps never really line up properly, things like that. So all of that was done, and props to my body shop for really doing it great. Man, here comes my man Ryan again. He laid down paint on this car that is beautiful. It's black cherry, but it is black cherry. Man, you get this thing out in the sunlight, good Lord, the black cherry just starts popping everywhere. And it really shows off the body lines of a 63 Corvette. And it's so rich, and there's so much depth in the paint of that car. You feel like you could just reach into it. Like if you went to touch it, you would actually reach through it. It's so deep in that car. As far as the interior is concerned, it got 10 times more expensive inside. Everything in the car before, was your typical Corvette, just a vinyl interior, and it all needed updating and upgrading. Instead of vinyl, everything went leather. It is all a beautiful tan leather, done factory. It's beautiful. Seats leather, the door panels, it's those deluxe door panels with all of the tuck and roll vibe in them, but that's all leather, Corvette styled, high end, man, high end. And I personally love the color combination of the car. The black cherry on the outside with that beautiful tan leather on the inside really looks rich and really looks expensive. And frankly, it looks expensive for a reason, because it is. I also really like the fact that the car is still a stock 63 split window Corvette outside of the paint. So kudos to the team on that. Everybody went over and above on that. The last thing on this episode, talk about completely different for Count's Kustoms. We're known for doing our hot rods. We're known for doing our muscle cars. We're known for doing big pimpy Cadillacs and, crazy stuff like that. Are we known for Volkswagens? Not really. We were really lucky that our client said, I want this to be a very high-end bus. I'm not looking for stock. I'm looking for expensive, high-end usability, and I want it to be cool. So we scored a great 1960 11-window bus, and the rules were, needed to be an automatic. An automatic. 1960 bus, there is no automatic. The gentleman built this bus for his wife, who loves to go paddleboarding, and she takes her dogs apparently and puts them on the board with her, and they go paddleboarding and stuff. But she doesn't drive stick shift, and 1960 VW buses are stick shift, and they don't necessarily have a lot of power. They're about 40 horsepower. They're a stick shift vehicle, and they don't have any luxuries whatsoever, really. They're very much a utilitarian vehicle. So this was a ball. This guy said, go crazy. So we went crazy. This thing now does not have 40 horsepower anymore. It's pushing about 200 horsepower, which is awesome. This is no longer a stick. It is an automatic. On top of that, we added modern air conditioning, modern stereo. The interior is all leather, and it's a monochromatic color. As you guys know that are VW people out there, you know that lots of times they tie in the exterior color to the interior as far as like painting some of the the dash and whatever panels inside that get paint. This is all monochromatic, expensive gray, like a dove gray, soft gray, the beautiful giant wood steering wheel. I jokingly referred to it as the Maybach of Volkswagen buses, because it's so luxurious inside. It really is crazy. And to be able to turn the air on and just put it in drive and boogie on down the road with a lot more horsepower than it ever had is amazing. The outside came out gorgeous. I mean, it was a split windshield, so it's got the Safari windshield now. It's got the Safari window in the back as well, and on the doors on the one side and on the other side there's Safari windows there as well. So what's fun about this is, in the right climate, you can just open up all the Safari windows on this thing and just let the air just blow right through it. And then when it's really hot, close it all up, turn the air on. Ryan did a gorgeous job on the paint. The blue and white, beautiful. And it ain't just blue and white. There's a lot of pearl in that blue, and there's a lot of pearl in that white. Beautiful teak wood on the roof rack, and a custom paddleboard that matches the bus. Added the Fuchs style Porsche fully polished 5-spoke wheels to it. Lowered the stance slightly. It's a bad bus. When I think about what was the biggest challenge on this bus would be relocating the engine and transmission, the way they mount, and the trailing arms in the rear, because all of that had to get moved approximately 6 inches to make the automatic work with that engine and to work with the chassis and the suspension on this. Probably that's the biggest challenge on it. Yeah, it was honest in the episode. That's one of the great things about Counting Cars, man, is we keep it real. We keep it real, we tell the truth. So the bottom line was this: the Corvette was supposed to be finished the day before it got finished. And the owner of the car had a very short window as to when he could be here. He had a lot of other things going on. And my team is the greatest team on the planet. I take full responsibility for missing the delivery date by 1 day. So the client could not be here when the car got finished. But before I put it on a truck and just send it off, we've been staring at it for so long, I really wanted a fresh set of eyes to look at it in case there was something that just wasn't quite right. And Keith, he knows his stuff. He knows his stuff. So for Keith to come over and see the car, and his response said it all for me, man. This guy does wonderful cars. Another cool thing was the gentleman that Shannon and Ryan bought the 60 VW bus from, a cat named Bryce. He's out of Texas. This guy is into these VW buses, man. His place is covered with them. He's been collecting them forever. So, they went and got the bus from him, and our clients that own the bus, like I said, they live, back east on the East Coast. And during the time that all of this was going on, we've been dealing with this whole COVID thing, and so a lot of people don't want to travel, and I understand that completely. So the folks that own the bus, wonderful folks, when the bus got done, they didn't want to get on a plane and come out here, and I get it. Bryce, on the other hand, he was like, throw caution to the wind. He wanted to come see this bus because it originally was his. We got it from him. So it was cool to see the look on his face, the transformation from what we purchased from him to what we're sending off to our clients back east. Blew his mind. And this guy is a bus guy. And for him to see this bus make a transformation visually like that and become so high-end and so expensive, yet, as he put it, paying respect to the VW bus community, meant a lot to me to get his stamp of approval. And I think it was cool how much he dug the fact that this thing was now an automatic, because that just doesn't exist in a 60 VW bus, and that it went from 40 horsepower to 200 horsepower. This was really a fun episode for us. Everybody really pulled together. My team here, I can't give enough credit, enough love to my team here. We all work together really well. We put in a lot of long hours, long days, long weeks, and to get all these projects done. But we're blessed to have fantastic clients that trust us with these projects and allow us to go crazy and have fun and do what we do. And I feel really fortunate that you all at home are enjoying what we do as well. So thanks for watching the show. Thanks for tuning in with me here on the Counts Kustoms YouTube channel for the Counts on Cars series. I encourage you to please hit the subscribe button right there. It's free, and you'll get notifications as to when we keep adding more and more stuff. So stay tuned with me here at the Counts Kustoms YouTube channel. And you guys absolutely rock. I hope you enjoyed the show, and hope you're enjoying this as well, and some of the behind the scenes stuff that we get to talk about. I'll be seeing you soon. In the meantime, y'all stay cool.